So what is Zund machine?
So Zund is a kind of machines called flatbed cutters. So this particular flatbed cutter is made by a Swiss company called Zund. So there are other flatbed cutters also. So typically a flatbed cutters is something which has an vacuum bed as well as multiple modular tools which can interchange depending on the purpose of the process. So right now we have two modules. So these two modules are we usually use for cutting Malai materials. So this one is called a rotating knife. So polygon shaped the blade is rotating in very fast RPM, and when the blade is moving through the material, it will cut through the material. So if you are looking for cutting straight lines, this one is the ideal tool for straight line cutting. So the Malai strips you see in the Malai Instagram pages, those are cut on this particular tool. So if you're having some sort of a complex geometry which has in the shape of a character or something, a coaster or something, a bookmark or something, you need to cut on complex geometries. So for that we use these oscillating knives. So this is a very tiny knife which oscillates as it moves like a sewing machine, and it will cut through any shapes. And additionally, these tools can rotate and it can move in any direction. So Zund is a platform which has a flatbed vacuum bed, so that you don't have to mount it mechanically. Rather, you can just put the sheet and it will vacuum haul the material on the bed. And these tools, usually we fit the design as SVG or DXF file format. So this is a logo for Malai. We cut it for a stencil, and once we designed it in Illustrator or Inkscape, we can export that as an SVG file, and we import it on the Zund cut editor. And here we can assign which lines are used for which purpose. So if I'm using one colored line for straight line or rotary knife, and these complex geometries are using for intricate geometry, we will be using the oscillating knife. So depending on the tools we are using, we can change the colors and function of these lines, and from that we will send this to the machine, and the which machine has these camera modules. So this can recognize the position of the stock material we put on the bed, and it will recognize the origin of the geometry of the material, and from that point we start the cutting process. So this is Zund. So there are multiple companies producing machines of these capabilities, but from our experience, Zund is the best in the industry, but there are affordable versions also.